thank you everyone for attention. So as we've come to the end of our academy journey, we want to take a few minutes to just reflect on the last 3 days that we've spent here together. On Wednesday we've opened our doors and invited all of you to come and learn with us, observe how we do things, and also experience some of their techniques and their coaching schemes and methods that we have here.
From the very weird dancing with an eye patch to discover what a half-truth is, through to you guys observing and then actually running your own situational workshops. For us it's been a really inspiring and humbling sort of few days to see how much passion and drive you all have to really make a change from within and sort of bravely make change within your organisation. So for us it's been really exciting to see.
Yeah, and for the two of us, especially, it's been a truly remarkable week. For the past month, Rosie and I have been what we sort of call it TP dating, and this week has been a true test to how we make decisions individually, but also as a pair. And we've learned an awful lot about how we tend to self-doubt ourselves extremely, and how hour by hour we manage to become more and more candid with each other and less LHF. And also on a more personal note, after situation workshop that was run by one of the US attendees, last night I had quite a big aha moment that came with a massive relief to my coaches, Miranda and Sophia, that helped me understand what's been holding me back for the past couple of months at work, and that big narrative of wanting to prove that I can deliver and do things completely by myself without necessarily needing a TP and somebody to complement my decision making. And and looking at this week and what we've achieved, I couldn't by myself achieve even a fraction of what we've experienced here this week.
And so, alongside thanking sort of each other, we also want to say thank you to some of the next jumpers. So for us, to Miranda and Sophia, who have given us a lot of radical candor this week and the month. So leading up, whilst it's very tough when first receiving, we honestly really appreciate it, and we couldn't have been sort of elevated ourselves to this level without you, and we appreciate it. To also sort of Jack and Laura, who are TP dating themselves using this academy, they've shown so much of gas and care for running everything sort of behind the scenes, all of the logistics. And sort of running, sort of Laura in particular, practicing the first time running a team, which has been really awesome to see. So we want to say thanks to all the next jumpers who've been helping out, and also all the next jumpers who've been working behind the scenes to sort of keep the business afloat while we've been running this academy and running all these sessions. I wanted to say how grateful we were for you and say thank you. So for that, a little round of applause.
And so I've witnessed quite a few academies in my last 2 years being here at NextJump, but this one has been truly special because most of our attendees are working very hard day and night in the educational sector that's so important in bringing up our society and future leaders of the world. And having spent 2 hours a week at Netley from time to time and seeing how absolutely exhausted I come back, I cannot even imagine how all of you do it day in and day out with so much passion for this profession. And I cannot even imagine how much of an impact those changes and those learnings and realizations that you had here over the last 3 days are going to have, not only on yourselves, but your colleagues, and also all the children that are inspiring every day.
So on that note, we also want to say thank you to all of you guys, the attendees, for really bringing your best and throwing yourself into the academy. And we want to share a couple of sort of moments that meant quite a lot to me and Vicky while sort of watching on and running the academy, and helped us really see the worth of what we were doing. I hope you don't mind me sharing, Krishna, but during our implementation session today, you said something that really sort of struck a chord with me. You were being really vulnerable and talking about moving into a new position. You felt quite lonely. But by coming here, you realised the sort of support system that you had, but you didn't know to reach out. And for me, the way you sort of spoke with such vulnerability, it showed me the true power of leading with vulnerability, because then everybody around the group could start talking about how they felt. And it was so powerful to see how by leading with vulnerability, you give others the space to share where their struggles are, and then you can all support each other in it.
and also Megan and Rachel. In the situation workshop that you ran, you really reminded Krista on how important it is to really take care of your time and not always put yourself last and take care of everyone else before you, and how important you are to yourself, which was very, very helpful for her. And on that note, I just wanted to leave you with one more thought before we can go back to celebrating. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, that's the only thing that ever has.
So we just wanted to wrap up with a few words before we go into the reflections and Coronitas. I was just thinking how this is the first academy we've had in this office where we've had people back for the second academy. And it's just been amazing to have so many familiar faces back. It's been special, really special, for a few reasons. So one, it's having people return again. Number two, I think for Kevin and I, as we've been talking about this week, it's been great to see Vicky and Rosie step up. But my highlight for the last 3 days, so a lot of what you don't see within the sessions, and then you have everyone else running a business. I can't remember any week where there have been more fires to put out than this week. It was like this week of all weeks, and so like a huge thank you to everyone behind the scenes who's been working so hard. And then I think, as Kevin and I were talking just before this, so my highlight for the last 3 days, personal highlight, has been seeing Miranda and Sophia. So I'm going to share a story. This was actually on the first day, which I was telling Sophie last night. So I was speaking to Brett. Brett had come to an academy 2 years ago. And in that academy, he had seen Sophia's PLB journey. So she just started, she's going through a PLB journey. And Brett pulled me aside at the end of day one, and he said, I can't believe how far someone's come in 2 years. It's just a completely transformation in terms of her confidence, her articulation. She was blown away, and I said to him, please tell her that. And that's been awesome to see. I think for Kevin and I, we're normally very hands-on in the academy, the day-to-day, like the adjustments we need to make. And both Sophia and Miranda have really taken the reins. And that's meant that from our perspective, as we've gone to having to step more into our core business, we've had complete trust in them, like knowing it's under control. So again, just an example that I think articulates this was day one or day two? Day two. I know what day is. I think it was. So I remember in Sophia's PLB journey and onboarding, the key thing she was working on was not second guessing herself, like having a stronger point of view, speaking with a bit more conviction. So anyway, yesterday, she comes into our office and she said, Tarun, there's an afternoon session and I'm seeing some people, they're on their phones and they're disengaging a little bit. And we said, okay, treat this as a practice. Like go in and say, come on guys, like there's a session going on. And she said, okay. And she goes in, and I wasn't there. And the team messaged us and she's like, Sophia killed it. And then we saw a feedback app, she got a 1. And I was like, yes, Sophia.
Drew downvoted it.
Thumbs down, thumbs down. And I was like, and I shot an email to like our leadership team. And I was like, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of you both. So like a huge thank you for Kevin and I.
And just, I don't want to leave Miranda out of this because, if I look back, 12 months, and I think too how much, like Tarun was saying, how much we've had to be involved in the academy and where that has come, I just couldn't be prouder of Miranda and Sophia in terms of where they've come personally on their personal development, growth, leadership. It really is, it's just amazing to see. And the RTAs that Miranda was making, I think a while back she might have taken and almost resisted, but she was just moving and in it and in the flow. Both of you were. It was a pleasure to see. It's so rewarding to see all the coaching and everything coming into fruition for both of you.
So this part, I'm not sure if we need to explain because a lot of you have done it before, but this is the reflections part. And I think for the core team who have been working double as hard to actually to run the core business. This is really powerful for them to hear what actually happened, what were the takeaways, why do we invest so much time in running academies. So at this point we'd invite you up individually just to come up, maybe say a few words of what you've taken away from the last 3 days. It's really powerful for our team to hear as well. So with that, we'll leave it on that.
Who's brave? Raj.
Tell I'm arrogant, I'll go first. No, it's actually it's a build on the previous comment, because I too was at that academy 2 years back when I saw Sophia's PLB journey, and I was so moved by a story. I remember going and giving you a hug, and I'm kicking myself for not either telling you in person, but now I'm telling you. I'm really proud to see that growth that you've had over the last 2 years, and to both of you for doing such an amazing job. For me, timing of this has been really good, because I was kind of debating should I not come, when just in the midst of doing fundraising, and it's crazy for those of you that run your own business, you'll know it's just a horrendous time, and you're always pitching, and it's just not nice. So yesterday I had to leave at 4 to go do a pitch to like 80 investors. But I'm really glad I did come, because it reinforced a lot of things in terms of things I want to do, some kind of changes I need to make internally. But firstly, let me just say yesterday's, and I said this in the morning, I really enjoyed yesterday's lunch with Krista and Hassan. I have to say that just the level of authenticity and vulnerability that you guys showed during that really short interaction, and how I just felt a real good connection. We talked about kind of family and importance of family, and talking about like how much they mean to us. I really kind of connected with you guys over lunch, and it really reminded me about the importance of that authenticity and vulnerability. And that's kind of connected to Tarun's presentation yesterday, and I said this to him in feedback, including my name, because you can literally change his name and put my name. I totally related to everything that he had to say, and it just reminded me how it's exactly what I want to do and I need to do in my own business, because I think it would just take the level of relationships just that notch higher, and I thought we were doing okay with it, but then when I come here I'm reminded about how we can do so much more. So that's the kind of another kind of key lesson for me. And so yeah, I think I've just taken away a lot. I've just really relished the opportunity to get to know the next jumpers, reflected on some of the things, that the changes we need to make, that level of vulnerability, authenticity, rebooting the kind of approach to feedback, and then also sharing that experience with Marie, who just joined us relatively recently, and seeing her stepping up and speaking up and kind of pushing herself too. So it's just been great. So thank you all for the opportunity.
So I'm just going to say a few words. Firstly, a huge thank you again. I couldn't wait to come, so absolutely delighted, and I think it's met all my expectations and beyond, having been before. And I think so many takeaways about how to implement with clients and ideas, but all the time I'm thinking about how can I, in challenging paradigms and things like that. But the one thing that I'm almost most excited about is actually, so I came in after Charlie's session, and that is since the Leadership Academy, I decided to put my work together and support education in the Midlands. So I support education awards in the Midlands, and so I give my time free to the winner of a category. It's about help, whatever category that is. And it just occurred to me, I've been thinking about business and things, it just occurred to me that the charity that I'm about to start to work with is small enough to get their arms around and impact and share all of these lessons in a much more fluid way. So I'm so excited about that opportunity and really the sense of making a real difference. So I'm almost going to get emotional. So thank you, everyone. And I loved that intervention. If it hadn't been mentioned, I would have mentioned it, but I wanted to come up to say it before everybody else.
This is a bit awkward because I too and I get that you're completely a team, but I too had already thought I wanted to mention Sophia, and if people hadn't said something about your journey, I would never have known, because what I wanted to say, and I'm not going to mention the incident because there were naughty people. I do training, teacher training, and it's hardcore, and it's much more difficult to train us than it is children. And you have a gift, and your gift, I was trying to think what it was, and it's along the lines of you really listen to the question, and you don't rush, and you really think, and you're very sincere and very reflective, and that isn't usual, and I suspect you don't know that that's not usual, and I don't know, but it struck me yesterday and then again this morning. But I also want to say, for the standout magical comment, and if you didn't go to Pilates, you're not going to get it, but mermaids for all.
I'd like to say something about the collective that I've noticed. And I noticed it right at the beginning, and it was outstanding. There's an energy, there's a vibrancy. Everybody here has a presence and an excitement which is infectious. We know emotions are contagious, and it is absolutely infectious. I mean, if the aspiration of all of you is to change the world, then you have the capacity within you. It's a tricky journey, it's a messy journey, but it's an exciting journey, and you've got it, and I can see it and I can feel it. So I've given some feedback to one or two people. I would prefer not to single out anybody. I've noticed a great deal of messiness, and I love it. Absolutely, I love it, because it's real, it's tangible, it's authentic, and the language is different. You know, I've asked the same question of different people, and I've got a different answer, and for me that's fantastic. Because what's coherent in all of this is the principles. And those are, you know, it's kind of like, I feel it in your DNA, and I would thank you for sharing that with me.
So I'm going now because I'm going to have to go. I haven't spoken in front of that many people without passing out, ever. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to challenge myself. On a very tangible level, I'm quite junior at Learnably. I just joined under a year ago, 1 year next month. And I am super excited about the constant growth of both our people and our culture, and I cannot wait for next week to start implementing all of the amazing takeaways, and it's been eye-opening, and also to, you know, comfort me in the sense that the direction that we have is really sort of, you know, working towards having a strong support system and empowering people and enabling them to really like become their best selves. So seeing that from another company and at, you know, the levels and how big you are, it's really impressive what you achieve every day on a personal level and as an entity. So yeah, thank you for all of that.
I just want to say that, you know, Bhavani always says, and the children come first, but the children come first, but the children, and of course that's true. And we have tentatively, over the past few months, been broaching the idea that actually, but we do need to take care of the staff as well, and we need to take more care. You know, it seems to us when we see your situational workshops, you like to encourage people to cry. We try and stop people crying all the time. You know, I've noticed the quality of the tissues you have here. They are there to encourage people to cry. Ours are like sandpaper. They are. They are to discourage leaking of fluids from the eyes. Really they are. But I hope that this has, you talk about the fact that while this is all going on, of course, this is not all you do. There's stuff going on, that actually runs the business. But I hope this will give us the courage and conviction to know that while the children come first, we know that's what we're all there for, we do have to look after the staff, we do have to develop them in ways other than just helping them get better at their pedagogy, at their actual teaching, but in their own personal growth. So I think this will give us the courage to do that, and
she's looking at me.
To spend a little bit, to spend the time to do that, and we'll get better tissues.
I felt like I was alone. I can't believe I'm doing this. But anyway, I'm not. That's what I've learned. And actually, the whole thing around Next Jump taught me that I'm not alone. There's the 5 in the room. There's my team underneath. And the whole 3 days has showed me that I'm not alone.
She's worked in Robson House for 15, 20? a long time, and she does Krishna does outreach work to 41 schools. She's now become the leading a group of 8 specialist teachers who are language and communication or social, emotional, and mental health issues. And so she's fully trained also in supporting teachers in handling children with autism within a mainstream setting. So it's a very difficult job, and I've been in at least 7 years. I've kept a distance, only because well, that's something I possibly need to think about now. Because I pride in having a flatter structure, but Robson House is pretty difficult. When you have a pupil referral unit with 20-odd children who are excluded, will all come with lots of other challenges. So the idea is, I know Krishna, I know how we work. There is a team there. There is a senior leadership team.
There is a team.
There is a team.
I think if I went to the old management structure, in my head I needed to be that bit at the top and this thing at the bottom. But actually, the reflection on the past 3 days is that it doesn't have to be that way, and nor actually is it that way if I allow it.
So the conversation, the situational workshop that happened by chance was that actually. There is a line management structure, but there is also my open door policy, which is open to another part of the campus. It's not that big, but it can feel a bit of a distance because we operate slightly differently. I'd like to thank, it's the only chance I have thanking all the Next Jumpers who come in and do robotics. Thank you. Sorry if the children are paid.
So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you because this is my first time here. So thank you very much for welcoming me on. One of my many backhands is a sense of transgression or cynicism towards the status quo. So even if the status quo, the norms are mirroring or embedding exactly how I feel and my values, my instinct will be to go against it. And I like your metaphor of constantly running around to hit the forehand. And actually, I used to play tennis quite a lot, and I always used to run around my backhand. And I actually have literally been kicked out of a tennis club for smashing up a racket because I refused to address my backhand. So that's kind of like a good metaphor for me. But I think that has the kind of what I've seen over the past couple of days has allowed me to drop that cynicism, or allowed me to kind of go with you guys. And I think, yeah, it's special. I want to try and take that individually and into the place back at my school. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and feeling a bit vulnerable.
Hi. What I love about you guys is it's like, it's a bit like coming and having loads of therapy, and you go away and you're like, oh my gosh, I now see myself totally different or have new insights. And I think I was a bit nervous coming here this time because in my place of work it's a bit unstable at the moment, and I was a bit like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to be bringing my best self. I don't think I'm going to be firing on all cylinders. I really enjoyed it last year. How am I going to come across? And obviously all of those things are part of, like, you know, being afraid of being judged and things like that. I've been really grateful to have new insights but hear the same repetitive message, which is absolutely not a criticism. It's like, it's what's heard, and I think we were just talking about it just then. Sometimes things resonate more with you at different points. And what I'm super, super grateful for is the offer that you had of us bringing more people with us. And I'm really grateful to the school to let us all come on. But like now I feel really strong that we're actually going to do something and make change, whereas I felt last year like disappointed and flailing and struggling, and like even though we'd done things in pockets, not being able to have like system change, whereas I now feel like you've given us the opportunity by opening your doors to so many people from one organisation, which is a cost to you in terms of maybe your mission, vision, goal, but for us I think that will have real impact, and I feel really confident after the implementation session today about going and doing like the 3 things that we want to do. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful.
A couple of things actually. Firstly, I wanted to start with my own team. So I feel exceptionally lucky to work with such a group of reflective, interested people. So firstly, thank you to you, because I think that's really important. And I agree with Rachel, like this critical mass is a really good thing. It's going to make stuff happen, so thank you. To the wider team, I said this already, I think it was this morning, although days are kind of blurring into one in my head. But I wanted to say it again because some of you weren't there. So at School 21, we talk about beautiful work that's of value to the world today. So we say that's what we want our students to achieve. That's what everything they craft should be doing. It should be getting to the point where they have beautiful work that actually makes a difference to the world. And then we've been questioned, what's our beautiful work? What are we crafting? And we always say it's our students. So talk to our students, and if you're impressed by them, if you think they are wonderful, thoughtful, collaborative, articulate, socially conscious young people who can change the world, then we're doing an amazing job. And I mean, that's my reflection on coming here and speaking with you all. So the staff here are the beautiful work. Everybody I speak to is, I mean, considering also the kind of mean age, which I don't even want to guess at, you're also looking wonderfully kind of young and well put together. Everybody is just, it's intimidating really. But I mean, everybody I've spoken to is so articulate, so thoughtful, reflective, open, honest. You are kind of the beautiful work. So whatever kind of cynicisms there are about methods, whatever, you know, people could come in and be like, gosh, this is a bit culty or whatever. Like, people say that about us, and I always say, look at the students. I think you could say the same thing. Look at our staff. They are our beautiful work.
So I'll kind of build on what Deb said. So I come from a bit of a different perspective because I'm not in the leadership team. So luckily Deb brought me along with her as her +1. So the lens that I'm looking much more through is from the students. So the programme I run puts students into workplaces, and the thing that I've taken away is how we really make sure the students give and receive feedback on how they're doing. Because I think quite often I expect them to get better and I expect things to change, but actually we need to think more about how we're giving them those structures to make sure they're getting the right feedback and giving the right feedback. So yeah, that's what I've really taken away from it. And thank you for being so warm and welcoming. It's been lovely. Thanks.
I didn't intentionally go last, to be like, and opened in the show. I
I just want to say thank you for the time with the team to reflect, all of that, that's priceless. And I wanted to say thank you to the Next Jumpers that let us free on your lives. Rachel and I, watching the film back, kind of realised we've got a long way to go, which was quite humbling, especially after I was like, I'm awesome at this. So that's really great, and I know what next steps we're going to take, and I think as a team we're stronger. So thank you.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So this is the next part of, well, the last part